Hello children, I am here with sets part first. Children, today we are going to study sets. This is the first chapter of your NCERT books, class 11th. Children, we first defined what is a set. As you can see, a well-defined collection of distinct objects is called set. Here you need to emphasize on two words which are defined collection. That is well defined collection, and another word is distinct objects. Children, we first learn about these two words. Children, here well defined means we are able to tell whether particular elements is included or excluded. That means there is no ambiguity. It will be quite clear whether it is included or excluded. This is called well defined here. And distinct objects means here objects will not be repeated, means any element will appear only once. An element cannot be written two times. So I think now it is clear from the word well defined and distinct. Now children, some facts about sets. It is always denoted by capital letter, means you cannot use any other letter. Another letter may be small letter, but we have to use only capital letter. Okay. Now second fact is elements which are objects are written within curly bracket. We also call it brace bracket, separated by commas. They are written within curly bracket and separated by commas. Children, here there are few symbols that will be used in chapter sets. You must know these symbols. First is you are just looking inverted A. Actually this symbol is used for all or for every. Okay. Now you can see that similar to E. Children, it means belongs to, and if we cross it, then it shows does not belong to. Okay. And this is, if we turn right 90 degree U symbol, then we get subset. This is the symbol of subset. Okay. And this is colon is called such that here colon, if you write colon, it means such that, and if you write A dash, it means complement of A. U stand for universal set, and if we write NA, it means number of elements in a particular set. Children, this is about definition and certain facts about sets. Now we are going to study representation of a set. Yeah, representation means we can write sets in two forms. Basically they are, the first is roster or tabular form, and second is set builder or rule method form. Children, in roster form, as you can see that in this form we list all the elements within braces, means curly bracket, separated by commas. You can see one example. A is the set of all vowels. As you know, in English alphabet there are 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, U. So we write here within braces A, comma E, comma I, comma U, comma O. This is our roster form. Next is our set builder form. Set builder form, it is also called rule method form. In this form we write a variable x representing any member, or we can say that any elements of the set, which is followed by a colon. And as you seen above, colon is known as, is termed as such that, followed by colon, and element of the sets, and thereafter we write the property satisfied by each element, of the set, and then enclose the whole within braces. Okay, you can see here there is an example. A is equal to set of all even natural numbers less than 15. In set builder form we can write x such that x is even number less than 15. So children, here we have studied representation of set. I recall set can be represented in 2 ways. One is roster form, and another is set builder form. In roster form, simply we list all the elements separated by commas, and in set builder form we represent by any variable x or t or u. You can use any variable, preferably we use x and y, but you can use any variable, and then write the rule which satisfies all the elements of that particular set. Suppose you want to write set of natural numbers, then in roster form you can write 1, 2, 3 and so on. This is listing enclosed by curly brackets, and if you write it in set builder form, then we write n is equal to x such that x belongs to n. You can easily see that these two forms are merely representation and they are interchangeable. You can interchange one of them. If set is given in roster form, you can write it in set builder form, and vice versa. If set is in set builder form, you can write it in roster form. Okay children, now move to kind of sets. We can also call it types of sets. First one is empty set or null set. we can call it empty set or null set. Both are same words and they convey same meaning. Empty set means having no element. Having no element means if set is empty, it does not contain any element. Okay, and it is denoted by phi, or simply you write brace bracket. Both are used interchangeably. Next is its example is given. Collection of all natural numbers less than 1. Children, as you know, no natural number can be less than 1 because the least natural number is 1. So this condition is not satisfied with any of the natural number, so there will be no such element, so it is an empty set. Now singleton set. Singleton set is that which contains exactly one element. Exactly one element, neither less than 1 nor more than 1. Here an example, a is equal to x, such that 3x minus 1 is equal to 8. Children, you know this there will be one solution for this equation, that will be 3x minus 1 is equal to 8, 3x is equal to 9, x is equal to 3. That means there will be a single element, so it is called singleton set. Now come to third, finite set. Children, finite set means having definite number of elements, means their numbers will be certain, you can count them. It is also called countable set because you count them. Suppose collection of all months of a year, collection of all days of a week, all these are countable sets because you can count them. Here is the example, collection of all vowels. Children, you know A, E, I, O, U are vowels, you can count them, so this is a finite set. Now come to part 4, infinite set. Children, infinite set is the just opposite of finite set. It has uncountable, it is uncountable because number of elements present in this type of sets are infinite, so you cannot count them. Examples are set of natural numbers. Children, you cannot say what will be total number of natural what will be in the total natural numbers, so this is infinite set. Followed by z set of integers and real numbers and so on. There are so many infinite sets. So I think this was it was clear from above discussion. You have studied definition of set, representation of set, and types of sets. So next is cardinal number. It is also called order of a set. Either we call it cardinal number or we call it order. There is no distinction between them. Number of elements present in a set is called order of set. Suppose there are 5 elements, then order of that set will be 5. If there are 6 elements, order of that set will be 6. It is represented by n of a, means n shows actually number of elements, and a represents the set. You can see here example, it is given that set A is equal to A, E, I, O, U. Here total number of element is 5, so order of this set will be 5. I think it is clear. Children, say our next topic is equivalent sets. Children, two sets are said to be equivalent sets if they have same number of elements, irrespective of whether they are identical or different. Means the thing that will matter is number of elements. Means if one set has 5 elements and another set has 5 elements, then both will be equal sets. And you can take another example. If A has 10 elements and B has 10 elements, then those will be equivalent sets. Means their element doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is total number of elements. So this is equivalent sets. Now our next is equal sets. Children, as you learn in equivalent sets that their number of element matters. In equal set, the elements matters. You can I repeat here. In equal sets, elements matters. Means one set has elements and another set has same elements. Okay, then these sets will be equal sets. We can write them A is equal to B. Equivalent actually does not means A is equal to B. Equivalent means their cardinal number are same. Okay, and in equal set means the sets are equal. Means if A and B are equal set, then we can write it A is equal to B. Means both sets have identical elements. Okay, we can conclude from here equal sets are also equivalent sets, but converse is not true. Children, important topic is our next important topic is A is subset of B. Any set is said to be subset of another set if all the elements of the previous set are contained in the second set. All the elements are contained in that set. Here we can also say that every set is the subset of itself, because this definition will be satisfied with every set. Because if you take A, then you can write A is subset of A. Why? Because all the elements of A will be contained in A. So every set is the subset of itself. Here an example. A is equal to 2, 3, 5 and B is equal to 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. You can write here A is subset of B, because 2, 3, 5 are also present in B. Means all the elements of A are contained in B. Therefore A is subset of B. Now then, total number of subsets of a set. Means if you find subsets, then what will be their numbers? There is a formula. It will be 2 raised to the power n. Here n stands for number of elements present in set. Okay. Now subsets can be classified in two groups. One is proper subset and another is improper subset. Then what is a proper subset? Children, all the subsets will be proper subsets except the set itself. Means if you find subsets of a set, then the set itself will be excluded from the definition of proper subset, except that all will be proper subsets. Now total number of Proper subsets in a set is given by the formula 2 raised to the power n minus 1. Children, actually it is I think you may misunderstood it, so I am writing here 2 raised to the power n minus will be here like this, 2 raised to the power n minus 1. Okay, it is not subtracted from n, it is subtracted from the whole, means 2 raised to the power n minus 1. I think it is clear. Now improper subset. Improper subset means the set itself is improper subset. As I told you, every set is the subset of itself. So if we exclude it from if we include it and exclude others, then this will be improper subset. So every set has one improper subset. Just note here, it is noted that phi is a proper subset. Remember this, phi is a proper subset. I emphasis on this line, phi is a improper subset, sorry, proper subset. Get my point? Children, let's take an example of subset. How do you find subsets? So let's take a set A is equal to 1. Then here we have to write subsets of this set A. First will be the set itself, second will be phi. There are two subsets here. There are two subsets of A, the set itself and phi. And if you talk about proper subsets of this set, it will be 1 and 1 will be improper subset. Let's take another example. A is equal to 1 comma 2. First we write all subsets of A, 1 comma 2, the set itself, phi comma 1 singleton set, 2 singleton set, these are 4. You can also calculate them from using formula 2 raised to the power n. As I told you, total number of subsets is equal to 2 raised to the power n. Here n means total number of elements in A and it is 2. So if we put in formula 2 raised to the power 2, 2 raised to the power 2 is equal to 4. And if you wish to find total number of proper subset, then we use formula 2 raised to the power n minus 1. Here 2n is 2 minus 1 is equal to 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. So total number of proper subsets will be 3 here. I think it is clear. Now next is power set. What is power set? Power set of a set is the collection of all its subsets. It is denoted by PA. What it means? Collection of all subsets? Yeah, collection of all subsets. If we list all the subsets like element, then that will form power set. For example, we denote it by PA. Let's take an example. Children, 1 will be here. Suppose there is a set having one element, then its power set will be I have to delete it because I have no I do not have sufficient space to write it. So PA will be 1 and phi. This is power set. Here you can't write that PA. Okay, this is incorrect because actually this is element of this power set. This is not subset. Okay, here subsets will be elements of power set. So relation of subset cannot do not exist here. I think it is clear now. Now move to universal set, children. Very very important thing is that there may be questions which may confuse you. There may be examples. We saw that choose the correct option, and options are given PA, and option is given PA is subset of PA. Okay, and they can also write like this. So this is wrong and both are right. Okay, this is element of PA, but if you enclose it within another curly bracket, then it will become subset of PA. I think it is clear. Okay, now universal set, a set that contains all the elements under consideration in a given problem is called universal set. It is denoted by U. Means if in a problem there are sets, suppose set of natural numbers, set of integers, and set of rational numbers, then here Q will be universal set, because all these are contained in Q. Set of natural numbers and set of integers both are contained in Q. So in this scenario Q will be universal set. But if we include R, means set of real numbers, then R will be considered as universal set. That means universal set is not fixed. It may change question to question, scenario to scenario. If we talk about a state, then state will be set, universal set, and all the cities and all that is included in that particular state will be universal element of that. So state will be universal set. But if we talk about country, suppose India, then India will be considered as universal set, and all the states, all the cities, whatever is included, whatever comes within boundary of the country, that will be subset. That will be element of that means all the sets which are included, which comprise, suppose the city has many can have many subsets, all that will be considered under country. So country will be considered as universal set. Now children, we had to learn intervals, and it is very important, and it is introduced first time, because it is introduced first time. So we talk about closed interval. In closed interval is all these will be taken into consideration under real numbers. Closed interval and open interval, closed open interval, open closed interval. Closed interval, what is a closed interval? Actually its brackets shows whether it is closed or open. This bracket shows is a closed interval, and it means if any element belongs to this set, it will be like this. Means suppose x is an element and x belongs to this set, then x will be greater than or equal to a and less than or equal to b. And for open interval, if open interval is represented by this circular bracket, and if x belongs to this open interval, it means x is greater than a and less than b. Okay. Now open interval, closed open interval, it is also called semi closed, semi open. Closed open means closed from first starting and open from end. So if it is written as, then no problem at all. Here x is greater than or equal to a but less than b, and if it is open close interval, then open close interval means it is open from starting and closed from end, and it means if any element belongs to this set, it means x is greater than a and less than or equal to b. Children, I think it is clear from today's discussion. You might have got some knowledge from this video. Now I am going to end today's session. Children, we will soon be with sets part 2. So stay connected with me. Children, if you found this video useful, then please like and subscribe this channel so that you could get notification of our new uploads at appropriate time. Thank